What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back at it trying to talk to you guys about Dungeons and Dragons. So D&D is a game that involves a whole lot of imagination, and it's something that can really be amazing if done correctly. I'm about to be a DM for like a 2 session game, and I was like super super stoked, but at the same time I'm a little bit nervous because the DM pretty much has control of the whole world. They decide what the environment is, what encounters happens, and they're basically playing God in this world. And I've had the luxury of playing with one, two, three DMs, three different DMs, and each one has incorporated a different style of going throughout their world. The first DM we had, he was very orientated on battles, or at least that's what it felt like, because the way we would level up would be through battles. So every time we saw an animal or a goblin, we immediately thought, we have to fight this guy. We need the experience to level up to get stronger spells. And while fun and really entertaining, we didn't really care too much on the story. And if the opponents we were going up against, if they were too strong, then that's basically our fault, because we would always go after them regardless of who they were. Oh, this is a giant, the toughest guy this side of the hemisphere. Yeah, we're level 2, but we can take him. That is not the thing to do. So that type of DM style that focuses mainly on fighting and on basically encounters, it's good for a certain type of battle. Say you're like in an arena, a gladiatorial arena, that kind of thing, then yes, that makes sense. If you're fighting a big demon, then obviously they're going to give you more experience, you'll level up quicker. And if that's the goal of the campaign, then yeah, that makes sense. But if you're trying to world build and come up with like traps and mysteries and stuff like that, your party is going to get bored, I feel like, because they're so used to the thrill of battle, trying to find the next big thing to hit really hard. Then yeah, that kind of sucks. And also, depending on the type of classes and races that your party chooses, if you're not a very fighty type of guy, then you're not going to be having much fun in this campaign. So that's one DM style that I've kind of learned from, that yes, I can focus on fights, but at the same time there's more to Dungeons and Dragons than just fighting. There's more than just running up to the next biggest guy and hitting him really hard with your sword. Unless you're a fighter or a barbarian, that's kind of your thing. The next type of play style that I was introduced was very, I guess I could say, it was really fun. It was a mixture of world building, and every character that we had a backstory that was driving the campaign forward. For example, this is where I was using Alar, which is my high elf warlock, and to him, his backstory is that he was a pirate. He went out to sea with his father and his brother. They saw a burning ship. They went to go help them. It turns out there were vampires on this ship. Vampires killed his father and basically took his brother as a hostage. And the way to get him back was that my character had to find strong magical items or strong magical users and kind of mark them so that the vampires could target later on. And throughout the campaign, that was always my driving force. Do I kill this guy, or do I literally just leave him be and maybe try to stealthily mark him so I could fulfill my, I guess, ransom to get my brother back? And also, like, the longer the days go on, the weeks go on, I get more antsier, and I just become more, I guess, I start doing things more rashly. Like, I don't really think about what I'm going on or what's best for the party. I think about trying to save my brother, and if that involves fighting a party member, then that's what's going to end up happening. But throughout this is just one facet of this parties, because everybody has their own backstories that is being implemented into this campaign, which in the first campaign we were literally just thrown in there. Like, as far as I know, we didn't have a cause or a goal. We're just like, hey, four random strangers got together, let's see what happens. And in this one, our backstories are what's driving the narrative forward. And in the first campaign, it was all about experience through fighting. In the second one that I was mentioning, it's more about milestones. Say your character does something that really embodies their like lawful good alignment, then they can level up. Or you guys finally took down the murderer of this town, you guys level up. And I think that type of play style is a little bit more rewarding, because you're not just looking to see who's the next big baddie, or, oh, look at those goblins over there minding their own business, let's try and level up. You actually kind of feel for your character more so in that type of matter. And then the final DM that I got to play with was a very challenging one. It was a mixture of the two previous DMs. It was focusing a lot on battling, but at the same time, each fight was super difficult. I'd say in at least every encounter, one player would be going down, and that would severely handicap the rest of the party, to the point where we couldn't just focus on, okay, it's my turn to do something, let me just attack, because attacking wouldn't get us very far. We had to think outside the box, use our tools and weapons in ways that you normally wouldn't think of doing. And that's what I really enjoyed about this type of DM. He would always pit us with difficult situations, difficult monsters, and at such a low level, we had to band it together, because if one person went out on their own, they're most likely not going to make it, or they're going to cause the other party members to have negative implications. And each choice that we made also had echoes throughout the world. Say we went down into a dungeon and we fought a demon. Now, because we're focusing in that dungeon, we're not really knowing what's going on in the world above. Or say we kill that demon, and that demon was actually a gatekeeper for devils or something like that. Now the devils are roaming free. All these consequences rang out throughout the world, and that's something that I really enjoy. Because in the first campaign, like I said, we were all like, oh, goblins, let's go kill them. And it's like, there was nothing, like, we didn't fear getting attacked by, like, the goblin masters or, like, the chief of the goblins. It's just, kill him, let's go to the next guy. Kill him, let's go to the next guy. And if there were consequences, like, let's say, oh, you killed the chief's wife, now the chief's gonna come after you, and the chief has, you know, all the warriors or his whole army going after you. Hey, that's good for us. More things to kill, easier way to level up. So again, that's really awesome. And consequences also, or cause and effect type of actions and sessions were really great for the middle campaign, because it drives the narrative home. It's like, yeah, you're best friends now with the party, and every move you make is more of like a type of consideration. Like in my character, for example, do I do what's best for me in trying to save my brother, or do I do what's best for the party? Because at first I was like, oh, these guys are strong, you know, magic users. Should I just mark them and wait for the vampires to attack this party? Which would kind of suck if it did happen, because at that point we were very low level, and I believe he was going to make the vampires pretty strong. So that would basically mean the rest of the party would have to pick new characters. Now, I didn't want to be a dick and do all that, but I did think about it. And it's always the consequences that kind of drive forth the narrative of what actions you choose to do. And I think with my campaign that I'm going to start tomorrow, that's going to be a big factor. Huge epic fights, that involve like multiple stages, maybe even like location changes, awesome magical relics, and most of all, cause and effect type scenarios. If you kill the king, you're gonna have the whole country after you, that type of thing. Not, I kill the king, I'm the king now. That's kind of not how it works. But we'll have to wait and see how that actually ends up going. I'll fill you guys in probably next Sunday to see how well the session went. So if you guys play D&D and you've been a DM for years, or you're about to be a DM, or you've played in parties that have been really great DMs, let me know what things you liked about them, or let me know what kind of tips and tricks you implemented, because one of the hardest things for me was figuring out the creatures to kind of send out and the whole challenge rating. But the thing that kind of helped me out is, like, just because the monster manual has certain stats, that doesn't mean those stats have to be there. For example, say you're fighting a creature and you notice that your party's doing really bad against it. Maybe that 100 HP you can lower it down to like 50 or something like that. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's your world, yes, you decide what happens in your world, but if your friends, the party isn't having fun, then what's the point of you being the god or the DM in that world if everybody's having a bad time? Because again, this is just a game and we're all doing it to have fun, so just don't rely too much on what you want. Again, you've got to think fast, change your surroundings to make sure that the game that you're playing is a game that everybody enjoys. And at the end of the day, I think that's what being a D&D player is all about. Just having fun, pretending to be this awesome character that you've created. And yeah, so again guys, just leave me your tips and tricks down below, and I'll look forward to reading the comments. This has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.